Behind Lacrosse, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward, and hosted by U.S. Lacrosse, one for all. This week on Behind Lacrosse, we show you how some extra time playing catch with yourself can improve your skills. Plus later, get your DVRs and VCRs ready to break down our weekly dose of college lacrosse highlights.
Welcome everybody to Behind Lacrosse, where lacrosse is not just a sport, it's a way of life. In our first segment, Behind the Face, we take a closer look at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, better known as FCA. FCA is the largest Christian sports organization in America, and as you will see, it adds a unique dimension to the sport of lacrosse.
I was fortunate to attend a couple of FCA camps, and I noticed that the Fellowship of Christian Athletes had camps which featured football, basketball, soccer, tennis, and there'd be hundreds of athletes playing these sports, and they would gather early in the morning for fellowship, and in the evening they would hear from great speakers, but there was no lacrosse camp. And I was one of the guys who asked the question, hey, why don't you have a lacrosse camp? And they said, hey, you want to start one, you can. So in the summer of 1988, we had our first little FCA lacrosse camp, and out of that camp, it slowly began to grow. We started our first outreach at the U.S. Lacrosse Coaches Convention back in, it was either December of 1988 or 89, I get my dates mixed up now, but we've been at the U.S. Lacrosse Coaches Convention every year since, offering and hosting a free breakfast. And we've been fortunate to have hundreds of coaches come and attend to hear not only about lacrosse, but life and faith and how they can integrate to make you the best coach you can be and to help your players become the best players they can be as well.
What I see with kids today is that they face a lot of issues and challenges much earlier in life, and that the decisions that they're making when they're 14, 15 years old are shaping the men and women that they're becoming. And that's why we believe within FCA that's important that we take our message where people are and share with them the good news and share with them the opportunities that they have to make the right decisions when they're young.
Really, FCA lacrosse is about positive peer pressure. Players looking around saying, hey, he's involved in FCA, he's committing to live and play drug and alcohol free. He's a young man or woman who's not ashamed to say that they desire to honor God in what they do. That can have an influence on other student athletes and even coaches watching.
We pride ourselves in being able to make those connections and have that relationship, to dig deeper, to find a commitment level of how the girls want to improve themselves, not just about the lacrosse, but also making yourself a better person. Having those college athletes come and just that connection is just like an identification, like this is what I can be someday, this is what I want to be. I hope that I can play the game of lacrosse like this. I hope that I can have the character that this person has. I hope that I can have the relationship with Christ that this person has.
People they become who they surround themselves with, and we really want to provide positive role models and positive peer influence for these kids so that they can reach their full potential. We just want to be there for them. One Way to Play Drug-Free is a national program of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It's endorsed by Congress.
FCA's One Way to Play Drug-Free program encourages student athletes and coaches to live and play drug and alcohol free through faith, F, C, commitment, and A, accountability.
On our tournaments and teams and camps, we challenge the kids to be drug and alcohol free through a speaker that they look up to. One of the greatest things about FCA lacrosse is our peer influence, and that we take people that would be role models for kids within the game of sport or notable athletes and allow them to share what's made them successful in life. And it's had a great positive impact upon me and many other people. We just love people where they are and want to share Christ's love to them through our actions and the way that we relate to them and meet them where they are. If they're open to things, and if they're not, we still show great unconditional love and respect for who they are as people and for their opinions.
They're accepted whether they are a Christian or not, and it gives them the opportunity to ask questions and to be surrounded by people that do have a background knowledge of Christ, but it's a safe place where they can ask questions and find out more about it.
FCA is not only about camps and huddles and even tournaments or team events. It's ultimately about helping student athletes, coaches, and all whom they influence come into and grow in their personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ.
Up next, two former National Player of the Year award winners show you how to handle selecting this important piece of gear. And on the way, your latest lax highlights. U.S. Lacrosse, one for all.
Everyone talks about how long their truck will last. When we build a truck, we think way down the road. Toyota Tundra has been factory tested to survive years of abuse. That's why day in, day out, through the worst of the elements and all the rigors of time, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward. Special financing and lease options available now.
U.S. Lacrosse, one for all.
Welcome back to Behind Lacrosse. The price of lacrosse equipment can be a bitter pill to swallow, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. One of the most expensive pieces is a handle. But don't worry, in our Behind the Gear segment, we've got two of the best in the game that are going to show you how to pick out that perfect handle, which in the end will save you money and time.
Behind the Gear, brought to you by STX and the new Cannon and X3 crankshafts. Feel the 10-degree difference. STX. And hosted by LaxWorld, your complete lacrosse gear resource at laxworld.com.
In the game of women's lacrosse, I'm constantly asked what the best handle is to use. At STX, we have a couple of different handles. We have the composite handle and the alloy handle, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about both of these. The composite handle is made of 100% carbon, so it's super strong and super light. It's weighted in the middle, so it means that you can have any stick head on any of these composite handles. What I like most about them is the rubberized finish. It means that the stick is going to stay nice and cool in the summer, and it's going to stay warm in the winter for your hands. The stick I'm holding in my hand is called the Fade. It's fatter at the bottom, tapered off to the top, so that you can have good ball control. It's a very comfortable stick handle to use on your stick. One of my favorite stick handles to use is called the Tremor. What I like about the Tremor is these bumps on the bottom allow you to put your fingers in. It's a very ergonomic shape. Also, you can flip it around. You can put the bumps to the top of the stick for your finger control there. It's just a very comfortable stick to use. I really enjoy it. Moving on to our alloy sticks. The stick I have in my hand is called the Vice. The scandium stick, so it's super strong and super light. The thing I like best about the Vice is its shape. It's got a nice rounded bottom and a butterfly-shaped top so that the stick can roll in your fingertips, giving you better creativity and control on the field. The last handle I'm going to talk to you about is the Swank 10. The Swank 10 is the handle designed to fit on the tilt stick. The thing I like best about it is it's got all the great features of a composite handle in an alloy shaft. So that you can get out there, you get that rubberized feel, it's super comfortable, super strong, super light, everything you want in a handle. The great part about STX is there's a stick and a handle out there for everyone. So grab a stick and have some fun.
As I prepare for this summer's World Games, I have to find a handle that's going to allow me to perform at my best. Last week, I sat down with the R&D team from STX to go over their top handles.
This handle, the Sci-Tie Premier, is very popular amongst all of our college teams. It's a mix of scandium and titanium, and it's our strongest and lightest shaft. If I were going to play with a straight shaft, I'd be using the Steel 7000 because I like something with a little more weight to it. There are a variety of different shafts in between these, like the vanadium, which is also very popular amongst our college teams. You're not going to know which kind of shaft you like better until you get down to Laxworld and check them out for yourself, whether it's going to be the lightest and strongest or a little bit more weight to it. Get down to Laxworld, check it out.
Behind the Gear, brought to you by STX and the new Cannon and X3 crankshafts. Feel the 10-degree difference. STX. And hosted by Laxworld, your complete lacrosse gear resource at laxworld.com.
Behind the Scoreboard, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward. It was Senior Day in College Park, Maryland, as the 4th-ranked Terrapins hosted 10th-ranked Pennsylvania in a key out-of-conference game. Maryland's Brendan Healy scores his first goal on Senior Day. This unassisted tally gives Maryland the early 1-0 lead. Senior Bill McGlone feeds Healy for his second goal of the quarter. He ended the game with 3. The second quarter was all Terps. McGlone scores off an assist from Michael Phipps. Joe Walters scores twice in the period, as does fellow senior Xander Ritz, who nets back-to-back goals in a 2.5-minute span. The 5 second-quarter goals by Maryland all came from seniors, and the Terps led 7-1 at the half. Penn tries to battle back in the third. Here Alex Sullyhigh feeds P.J. Gilbert for the extra-man goal, and the Quakers are within 5, 7-2. Coming into the game, Maryland's Joe Walters needed only 3 goals to tie the school's record for career scores. Walters did just that at the 5:17 mark in the third off a pass from McGlone. Walters buries this shot from 5 yards out, and he ties Matt Hahn with 149 career goals. The Quakers stick 2 back-to-back goals in a 2-minute span. The first came off the stick of James Reardon. The latter was scored by Drew Collins. Maryland's lead has now been cut in half to 8-4. But the day belonged to Walters and his senior mates. A minute after Penn pulled to within 4, Walters shuts the door.
Crossfield pass. Walters for the win. Joe Walters by himself at the top of the Maryland goal.
McGlone skips a pass to Walters, who just winds up and unloads, netting his 150th career goal. Walters gets mobbed by his teammates as they celebrate his accomplishment of becoming the most prolific scorer in Maryland's 81-year men's lacrosse history. The Maryland senior class puts the finishing touches on a perfect day. Xander Ritz records his second assist with this pass to Healy, who puts the last goal of the game away. Maryland wins it convincingly, 12-4. We check the scoreboard. 10 of Maryland's 12 goals came from its seniors. The senior quartet of Walters, Healy, McGlone, and Xander Ritz combined for 16 points. Maryland is now 7-0 against Penn all time. Behind the Scoreboard, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward. Coming up on the flip side, we show you how to make the most of hitting the wall.
And just snap the ball and pick a spot on the wall.
Plus, you the fans take center stage in our Behind the Fans segment. You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Everyone talks about how long their truck will last. When we build a truck, we think way down the road. Toyota Tundra has been factory tested to survive years of abuse. That's why day in, day out, through the worst of the elements and all the rigors of time, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward. Special financing and lease options available now.
Behind the Move. Brought to you by Interlax, the source for lacrosse at inter-lax.com.
Zeus, come. Bring me the ball so we get started. Come. Bring me the ball so we get started. Stop looking at the camera. Wall ball is a necessary practice session that all lacrosse players should do.
Good passing here, and they score. Beautiful feed from me.
You need to do it one-handed, both hands. You're going to start off with your wall work just going one-handed, practicing weight transference from the back foot to the front foot, making sure my hips are moving, and begin picking one spot on the wall. After you get warmed up a little bit, you back up and you go two-handed, making sure that you snap the ball and pick a spot on the wall. And every time, I'm trying to hit that spot. Weight on the back foot, weight on the front foot, weight on the back foot, weight on the front foot, snapping the ball. Catch, don't cradle, snap. Catch, don't cradle, snap. Always catching the ball in a position where you could dodge, feed, or shoot. We don't want you stab catching. That's a stab catch. We want you to give. I want to switch immediately to my left hand and go 10 with my left hand. Catching the ball without a cradle. And everybody knows what catches the ball in lacrosse. Everybody knows. Look down. Look down further. Right there. Your feet catch the ball in lacrosse. It's not your stick. It's your feet.
In close, Owen Daly.
Your feet are always moving and adjusting as I catch the ball. Never standing flat-footed. I can also practice turning and rolling. Snap, turning and rolling. Snap, turning and rolling. Snap. Now I'm going to put a little bit of speed on the shot. This is great because shooting the ball is a lot like a golf swing. So I have to get a lot of reps. So I get my muscles developed, so I have muscle memory. And the left hand. I'm treating my wall work like a workout. I want to get something from it. Now I can work on my shot to a cross catch. Catching the ball across your body is very important. And cross catch. Cross catch. Cross catch. Cross catch. Cross catch. Cross catch with my right. Cross catch with my left. Now I've done the basics. One hand right, one hand left. Two hand right, two hand left. I've gone up high right, I've gone up high left. Now it's time to work on some sidearm. And of course, there's always my favorite. Get creative with it, have fun. I have a wonderful situation here with this wall. You need to go out and find a wall that's about 40, 50 yards long. And you got to do your wall work while you're moving. Because in lacrosse, you never stand still. If you're standing still, you're playing it wrong. So now, I got to run. And plant and come back. College coaches always ask me, can that player run hard with the ball? You practice running hard with the ball when you do your wall work. Make a workout of it and have fun doing it.
Up top, cannon shot, and he hits the corner. Tremendous shot.
Behind the Move. Brought to you by Interlax, the source for lacrosse at inter-lax.com. U Shoes, where you can custom design your one-of-a-kind team shoe at ushoes.com.
Everyone talks about how long their truck will last. When we build a truck, we think way down the road. Toyota Tundra has been factory tested to survive years of abuse. That's why day in, day out, through the worst of the elements, and all the rigors of time, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward. Special financing and lease options available now.
He was adopted, and because he grew up in a permanent, loving home that gave him a sense of his own value, it changed the way he saw the world. Had you asked him, he would have told you it made all the difference. After he founded Wendy's and could give something back, he created an adoption foundation so thousands of kids in foster care could find the kind of permanent, loving home he had. You can help make a difference. Support the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. One life at a time. You can change the world.
U Shoes, where you can custom design your one-of-a-kind team shoe at ushoes.com. Behind the Move, brought to you by Interlax, the source for lacrosse at inter-lax.com.
Because I'm a lax geek, I just want to get really involved and help the sport grow. She pretty much, eats, sleeps, breathes lacrosse. She works like 10 camps a summer, and I think it's great, obviously to have someone, an assistant that's so knowledgeable about everything and constantly staying with the new of the game.
Kara Gorman, University of Maryland, 03, goalie.
Another very important aspect of the goaltending game is your ready position. It has a lot to do with body language and what you're communicating to the other team and to your own team. If you're, kind of schlepping around in the goal kind of like this, they're going to school you. They're going to score on you because they don't think you're ready. But if you're in a much more poised, ready, intimidating, athletic stance, this is really going to work to your advantage. Not just because you're ready for the shot, but you're actually intimidating the other team. First, you're going to start off with your feet shoulder width, or maybe a little bit wider if you prefer a wider stance. Next, you're going to be on the balls of your feet, almost like I have pencils underneath my heels. So it's like a light little bounce, not like hopping, but just, light little bend in the knees. Top hand right up at the top of the stick. Bottom hand about halfway down, about shoulder width apart. So we have that hand position. Now, your arms are going to be halfway between fully extended and in close, so about right here. Now, when we're holding our stick, we want to have it upright, slightly in front of our head. We don't want it here because then we're just covering double space. We want to take up as much of the goal as possible, so we want it out to the side here so we can see the ball and see our hand move to the ball. Feet shoulder width apart on the balls of our feet, hands shoulder width apart, stick up, and I'm looking ready, athletic, and scary. This is the proper ready position.
Behind the Move, brought to you by Interlax, the source for lacrosse at inter-lax.com.
Well, the response to our Behind the Fans segment has been amazing. We've asked you to send in your lacrosse videos, and you've delivered. Take a look at a quick clip from two of the top programs in the nation as Mount Hebron and St. Mary's battle it out on Homewood Field.
It was a #1 battle on Johns Hopkins Homewood Field as #1 of St. Mary's goes the length for this fantastic goal. However, Mount Hebron's #1 comes back with this sweet shot as they keep their undefeated record and status of #1 in the nation alive.
Keep on sending in those tapes and DVDs, and maybe you'll end up on our next show. Log on to our website, behindlacrosse.com, and read how to submit your clips. While you're on the site, take a look at some hilarious outtakes and some fun extras. And if you've missed an episode or want to rewatch a favorite, you can sign up for free for video podcasts, and then you can take Behind Lacrosse wherever you go. Thanks again for joining us on Behind Lacrosse. I'm Sheehan Stanwyck-Birch, reminding you that lacrosse is not just a sport, it's a way of life. And I'll check you later.
Behind Lacrosse, presented by Toyota, moving forward.